What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. LexxExpress checking in with my thoughts on the 2023 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, this week we've gotten so much WWE 2K23 news, and I've just been streaming and dropping a few videos here and there, and I have yet to drop a full review on the entire show. Now, I will do a separate video talking about Sami Zayn, the Bloodline, and all that, because let's be honest, that deserves its own, moment. But let's go down the match card. We saw Pat McAfee come back to open up the show. He's back at the commentary table. That's amazing. And then we had the men's Royal Rumble, which Cody Rhodes won. That was, yeah, we're gonna do it match by match. And then we had Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in that dark match. Then we had Bianca versus Alexa Bliss. Then we saw the women's Rumble with Rhea Ripley winning. And then Roman Reigns just dismantled Kevin Owens. He just destroyed him. So that was the match card. But to open up the night, I was blown away that they decided to do the men's Rumble first. Because in my eyes, like, I pictured that dream, right? That fantasy that Cody would win the Rumble, but to close the show with all the fireworks and all the feels. But, the big dog, the tribal chief himself, he just wasn't going to take no for an answer. He had to close out the show, especially with the stuff that we saw. So, with that being said, man, we kicked off that pay-per-view in high gear. It was amazing. The difference between Triple H and Vince McMahon booking the Rumble is night and day. There was so much storylines. He didn't really rely on epic, massive returns. Even though we did see Booker T, which was a pleasant surprise, we didn't really get hit with these returns that we didn't know of. Like Johnny Gargano was definitely set to come back, and Cody Rhodes was already announced. So I love that Triple H didn't rely on that cheap pop, if you will. He didn't rely on having to put Stone Cold or anyone else in there. He relied on the talent they already have and brought in some people from NXT for the Women's Rumble. But for the men's Rumble, it was all about long-term booking, setting up storylines. Logan Paul came out, another surprise as well. And slice it however you want to slice it, Logan Paul had an epic moment with Ricochet. So it was a very eventful Rumble, right, from start to finish. We had Gunther, you see what I did there? I know a lot of you people still like calling him Walter, but let's be honest. Gunther, who very much earned his name, knocked it out the park with his Iron Man type performance at the Rumble. Not only did he last throughout the entire Rumble, but it was the first time number 30 and number 1 go face to face to close out the Rumble, and it was a match on its own. That is a storyline I want to see down the road. We planted the seed here with the Rumble. Now it's time to see how that develops in the future. But great performance by Gunther. He had some nice spots there, and then we had the Banger Bros that are no longer called the Banger Bros, Sheamus and Drew. I loved it. I loved it. Bobby Lashley came out around the Brock Lesnar time, and Brock Lesnar had gotten eliminated. He threw a tantrum, and it was just story after story after story. Even Seth Rollins with his stuff. It was just enjoyable, man. And that's all I really wanted. If I wasn't going to get surprise returns, which we did get a few. Again, Johnny Gargano, he was set to come back. He was out for a couple weeks. We got to see Logan, which I know a lot of people don't really care too much about him, but Logan in WWE is like, he's amazing, man. He was born for this, it feels like. And then, obviously, Booker T, that's my boy. Can you dig it, sucker? So, Cody at number 30. Oh, man, I had all the feels for Cody at number 30. So happy with his spot and the way that he earned it. He almost got eliminated plenty of times, and it was just so much drama. It was well played out. And then we went into that Bray Wyatt match, that Mountain Dew pitch black, the dark match. And it had a lot of glow in the light stuff. I really liked the face paint that Bray Wyatt had when the lights were glowing. I didn't really like when he first came out. I was like, what is he doing? But as the match went on and I saw how they took advantage of the glow in the dark, with the little confetti thing popping through the table and just the ring gear, everything played well. The biggest problem with that whole segment, ultimately, because that's really what it was to put over Bray Wyatt as this demonic monster, right? Bray Wyatt came out and he went to town on LA Knight, honestly. And I felt bad for LA Knight, but he was ready to be a demon. That's just, I was one of the ones out there saying,
come on, LA Knight, don't get squashed, please. I want it. Why did Bray come back to do this?
But at the end of the day, you know, they needed to put on this show where it showed Bray Wyatt becoming that next version of himself. But whatever. We fast forward to the end of the match where they fight in the Titatron area, like towards the crowd or whatnot. And that spot where Uncle Howdy completely misses the elbow drop. And we got the explosion and fire, which was cool, but it sucks that he completely missed it based on the angle they showed. It was just, you know, you only had one job, man. I know the mask is big, but it really ruined the moment for me. I thought that would have been cool if he would have actually hit it and sold it better. But, you know, between the camera angle and just everything, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. So then we transition to the Bianca match with Alexa Bliss, which that was another storyline type match right here. You see Bianca, who's amazing in the ring. But let's be honest, Bianca hasn't been too hot. She hasn't really had too many feuds to really comment on. I know that she has the championship and on. She's been one of the longer champs lately, but she could do so much better. And Alexa Bliss is kind of feuding with her own self, with her character coming full circle as well with the Bray Wyatt stuff. So it kind of took away the attention of through the match, and I just didn't really care that much for it. You know, honestly, I could have done without it. I feel bad even saying that, but no point. So that match was definitely the worst match of the night, in my opinion. I'm sorry. If you guys think otherwise, let me know in the comment section and I'll read. But for me, it really disappointed me. And then we transition into the Women's Rumble, which that match was spectacular too. We saw Michelle McCool, some long-term booking storylines there. Nia Jax came back, which that was botched all over, and a lot of people weren't too thrilled about that. So we saw some nice moments in that match, but it felt long compared to the men's. And it's not that, you know, we didn't get some good moments out of it, because we did. Like I said, long-term booking, that's all Triple H does. There was a good story told. It just, they tried their best. I get it. It was good though. It was good. It was watchable. It was enjoyable. But I just thought that it could have been a little better. The Nia Jax coming in at number 30, it really brought it down for me. But Rhea Ripley ultimately taking the win. That's who we all wanted. I feel like she deserves it. She really deserves it. And I know a lot of people wanted her to choose Bianca, but in my next video, I'll talk about why going for Charlotte is the best route for Rhea Ripley at this point in time. But either way, Rhea Ripley won, and that's all I really wanted. And she had a great performance as well. Came in early in the Rumble at the start, and she's awesome. She's awesome. So can't really complain much there. And then we transition into the main event, which we were all thinking The Rock was going to show up, right? We all thought at some point The Rock is going to have to show up because this is the main event. And we saw Roman Reigns in the pre-show tell the Bloodline Solo that he was going to go out there with Sammy because Sammy's the one that needed to be by his side. And ultimately, they went out there and handled their business. Roman Reigns got it done. He beat Kevin Owens. And then the Usos came out at the end. Obviously, they were going to get involved. They were going to do their thing. But it was more about the segment versus the match. The match could have happened on Raw or SmackDown. The match wasn't all that great. I'll be honest with you. It was okay. It could have been a lot better, especially knowing that Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens have done a lot better than what we saw. But it was a solid match. Nevertheless, it was a solid match. But mainly what followed is what's really noteworthy here. And the Bloodline was beating up Kevin Owens like there's no tomorrow. Samuel was trying to stop it, and that was the big test. Roman was testing Sami Zayn the entire time, pretty much setting him up for him to turn, giving him the chance to show his true colors, and Sami Zayn cracked. He couldn't just stand there and see his boy get beat up anymore. So he ends up turning on Roman when Roman had his back there perfectly for Sami to get him with the chair shot. And you know what's funny? That Roman had his back turned many times, and every so often he kind of looked back at Sami. Like he kind of just looked back at Sami, and every time Sami was like back and forth on the decision. And you could tell I really enjoyed the mannerisms there and the facial expressions. They didn't have to say too much to translate what they were feeling in that moment. So job well done. Everyone involved really aced that segment. And it really, really took the main event into a whole nother level. It took it into the stratosphere, and it's being considered as one of the best storylines in wrestling history. And that says a lot. So the fact that the Bloodline was able to, enter this new chapter with this crazy amount of hype. I mean, Sami Zayn against Roman right now, it sounds like a main event that wrote itself. It's crazy that it's taken this turn and that it's as popular as it is, but we should have never doubted Roman, the Bloodline, and even Sami, who has been tremendous. We've been expecting and anticipating this, but not the way they did it. So job well done. Triple H and company handled that whole feud segment, turn, all that. Perfect. Bravo. It was cinema. It was really awesome to see. It's bittersweet because I love Roman Reigns, but he hasn't been at the shows. We need a fighting champion. So, job well done. When I look back at the Royal Rumble, I'm thinking on the note that this was really epic, and it felt like it paid off to be a fan of long-term booking, because that's everything we saw throughout the night. WWE relied on the superstars that are already there in the company, and it was nice to see. We're constantly complaining that people that we enjoy watching don't get the spotlight, and that they're constantly bringing back guys like Goldberg and legends from the past. They didn't rely on that this time. They relied on the household names that they have within and the ones that they're pushing to be that next big thing, so to speak. So I'm really happy with the outcome. I have to go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10. I was bummed out that The Rock didn't show up, because when they were beating Kevin Owens and they were beating Sami and Jay turned and he walked out the ring, I swear to you guys, I thought The Rock was going to come out. It would have made the Rumble one of the top pay-per-views in my life, probably. But the fact that Rock didn't show up, they were in Texas and Austin didn't show up, it definitely hurt my expectations, because they were kind of freaking out of this world. I should have known better. I should have thought better. I shouldn't have thought that The Rock was coming back. I would have probably enjoyed everything much more instead of questioning, when is The Rock showing up? The Rock never showed up, but at the end of the day, I'm okay. After the show ended on the live stream, if you guys were watching it, I was there visibly, butthurt. But after I sat and thought it through, I realized that I had just watched one of the best Rumbles I've seen in a very long time. So kudos to Triple H and everyone involved. I'm signing off, giving the Royal Rumble, as I said, a 9 out of 10. Long-term booking was the story here, and I can't wait to see what's next in the WWE. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.